right, and the red light is on. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for clicking on the director's commentary of the fifth episode. What are we watching tonight? This is your creator and producer of the series, Mark Eric Sebon. Again, thank you so much for basically just watching the series. Um, and I do it again every time. I hate saying but that's exactly what I do. So this episode is kind of it's a weird one, and I got a couple of comments about it. And thank you so much for emailing me. Thank you so much for all the comments. Please keep emailing me, keep making comments. Email me at animeintherealworld2020 at gmail.com. Obviously it's a .com. I don't know why I said that. But a lot of the comments I got was, why did I do this type of episode? And the reason was because when I remember when I was starting to really get into anime, I didn't I didn't really understand what was out there in the beginning. So because I had this notion that, okay, anime is just like Western cartoons, they're either for kids or they're for adults. They're funny or they're a little bit serious, and I obviously was really wrong. So I remember being completely confused on what types of anime were out there. I didn't know there were so many, so I really wanted to create an episode that helped people who are starting to get into anime and help them kind of figure out, okay, where do I start? What do I like to watch? Because no matter what type of things you like to watch, if you live in the West or anywhere else around the world, there is an anime that is within that same genre. There absolutely is, and I did not know that. I really didn't. It took me forever to find all that out, and then, you start watching one anime, you go to the next one, people give you recommendations, and boom, boom, you just start watching so many. And at this point in time, I don't know if I should be proud of saying this or a little bit embarrassed, but I've probably watched close to 1,000 anime series, and it would have been very helpful in the beginning to have this kind of breakdown what's out there. So that is why I made this episode, to help kind of filter out all the confusion and all the questions that are out there. So hopefully this episode, if you're starting to get into anime because someone's recommended it or you stumbled across this series and you've wanted to get into anime, hopefully this will help you out in figuring out what types of animes you really want to start focusing on. Um, I did it again. One of the questions I always get is, what is your favorite type of anime? And everyone's different, but my favorite type of anime is the slice of life, or the SOL animes. They're basically the sitcoms of anime. And there's I guess the reason why I really get into those is, I when I was a kid, I didn't actually grow up with very much American television on the TV. I mean, yes, I grew up watching Star Trek and MASH, and as I got older, Frasier and a couple of the other sitcoms, but I was never a big American sitcom fan. I watched the BBC, so I grew up really watching Are You Being Served and Blackadder and Faulty Towers. So when you compare that type of humor to American humor, they are very, very different. And I always kind of felt like, there's not really much to watch on TV in America, so I always went to see what was on the BBC. And then then I stumbled on all these slice of life animes. And there's just so many different types. There's slice of life working, there's slice of life school, there's slice of life anything and everything. And that's why I got so drawn to it, because I had so many more options of storylines and character development that were just mainly just everyday people. They were this sitcoms, and that's why I'm drawn to that. And you can even see it in this documentary. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the clips I cut to from different animes are absolutely 100% slice of life animes, because that is what I really enjoy. That's what I love. That's what I watch the most. So I do love like the magical girl genre. I'm really getting into the mechs. I'm a big sci-fi fan, so anything sci-fi related I focus to. But it just the slice of life. Anytime there's a new slice of life that is on the broadcast docket for a season, I'm like, I've got to watch this. That's always going to be like the first one I go to. So that's what gets me. Now, please tell me, what type of animes do all of you like? What's that genre that you just are always drawn to? Let me know. Email me, message below. I really love to hear what type of animes people like, because you never know. It's, you can't judge a book by a cover. You can't judge a person by their cover. So you think someone's going to be really into, you see this guy at the gym who's all muscular and like, okay, he's going to like the mech animes where there's fighting and everything. No, he's like an idol anime fan. He loves seeing the idol group singing type of animes. It's you just never know, and that's what's so enjoyable about the anime community, the otakus, and even the fair weather anime fans, is you just never know what anime is going to be that one that gets them. So I remember doing this documentary when I was in Japan. I was talking to as many people as I could, especially when I would go to any of the like model shop stores or any of the manga libraries and anything, and just it's always amazed me how you can never guess what someone really likes. And I remember talking to one girl in Osaka, and she was dressed as she was what we would call in the West. She was dressed as a goth, had all black chains, black makeup, and she was. I bumped into her in a secondhand model and toy shop in Osaka, and through my broken Japanese, I was asking her, well, what animes do you like? And this was just what got me. She's like, I really like idol animes. And you just like, but you're a goth chick, but you like idol animes? That's awesome. I didn't see that coming. So the anime community is always, you can never know. And that's what's so much fun when you get to actually talk to anime fans, what they have just attached to. And here we go. Here's the slice of life. My favorite genre. Um, I should be talking, but I'm watching because I'm just. Here we go. Okay, this is Potting Pony Dash is one of my absolute favorites. If you're like a parody fan, this show just parodied everything. So a lot of fun. Okay, so I'm trying to think of any good stories of what was happening at the time when I was filming this. Unfortunately, this was in mid March when I filmed this episode. So I'm in Osaka. Everything is completely shutting down, and I could not go to locations and actually film because they weren't allowing anyone to stay in any one location for any long periods of time. So I would go somewhere, I'd set up, and then some security guard would be running down, waving their hands. No, 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 you gotta leave, you gotta leave, and that's not normal. That's not how Japan works. They're very open about you can film anywhere. They encourage it because they want to promote the beauty of the country. So it just was very weird that I couldn't film in locations anymore because of COVID. So I was lucky again, and I've mentioned this before, that where I was staying in Osaka and drop in Osaka in the hostel, they were like, well, we've got this dining room with a traditional tea room at the far corner. Why don't you just use that? And they absolutely allowed me to set up everything and film there. It was it was really cool, but it just it limited me in many ways because I could not go and get the shots. But I will forever be grateful that they allowed me to set up all my equipment, and I had about 2 suitcases of equipment with me when I went over there: mics, cameras, lights, everything. So I was just so grateful, and I'm sorry, this joke, I had to put this in because what? This is so again, thank you to Drop in Osaka for allowing me to film in your hotel, especially during this time. But I just that little cutaway with her going, what? Reminded me of something that I actually had to learn while I was filming these. It's kind of hard how to present information when you do a documentary. And from the first episode to the three-parter of the decades, the last three episodes that were aired, I had to actually learn something, and I learned this. It actually happened during editing, that I forgot to be me during some of these episodes. Like the first episode, it's just me telling you all about why I got into anime and about the history. But when the decades happened, I became too formal, and I realized that too late during the editing. That basically all the editing was done like, oh, you know what? It's too clinical. So it's something. If you ever film a documentary, you've got to remember. Honestly, the best documentaries I've always come are very personal documentaries. The narrator or the host they're talking to the camera, hence the audience, and that's something I completely forgot to do in the decades. Well, I watched that and go, this is not right. So I went back and re-edited this episode after I finished those and tried to fix it up. So hopefully this episode and the next two, the final two, have that personal feel again. So it's something you've got to learn. Something I really had to learn. And so take this as a tip from me: when you want to do your own documentary series or your own movie, make sure it is very personal. Make sure you are open and honest to the audience. So that's Mark's tip of the day. Thank you so much for listening. The episode 6 will be airing next week, next Friday. And as always, thank you so much for spending time with me. Please feel free to contact me at Anime in the Real World. Hey, look, there's the email right there. Anime in the Real World at animeintherealworld2020@gmail.com. You would think I would know that by now. Okay, well, whatever. Thank you so much. And enjoy the question and enjoy the bloopers. And I will talk to you in 2 weeks. Most people think anime is something for a subgenre. So what? Many people think anime was just made for a subgenre to enjoy the otakus. Many people think anime... What did I just do with that? Don't use your props. Shoujo and shonen. What? Now, there are 3 other types of mangas. The 7 styles of manga are a great... I'm gonna burp. The 7 styles of manga are a great... Slice of the... Slice of... Slice of... Slice. Other subgenres... With such subgenres... which many storytelling narratives can be but not all manga types are for teenagers or adults. Some of the most popular...
What?